Okay, good evening, everybody. Namaskar. So, we welcome you to this session on food wellness. So, you are what you eat, something we have heard many times, but today we are going to find out a little bit more about this. So, we are live on YouTube, and we are joined today by Vaishali Ganorkar ji. Vaishali is a good friend, and I've known her for many years now. And many times when I would meet her, she would share her amazing insights into food, and that's why I thought I should invite her. Of course, Vaishali is a nutritionist for more than 18 years now. She's traveled across different parts of India and shared her insights. She also does a lot of work in terms of Ayurvedic secrets and overall holistic wellness as far as food is concerned. Vaishali is also an art of living teacher for the last 20 years now, and currently handles the corporate programs for Mumbai and Goa. So, welcome, Vaishali. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Virat, for that warm welcome.
Great, great. So, this is something that's been on everybody's mind for a long time. I think the interest in this subject keeps getting higher in terms of what should we eat, how much should we eat, given our crazy lifestyles, how do I stay healthy, how do I lose weight. तो ये सब लगातार इस पे डिस्कशंस है, सोशल मीडिया भरा हुआ है इन पोस्ट से. एंड इवन व्हेन आई टीच आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग कोर्सेज, मुझे बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं ऑन दीज टॉपिक्स. So I thought it'll be great to hear from an expert. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask you a few frequently asked questions, and of course you can take the conversation wherever it goes.
Sure.
The first thing I want to ask you is, हम 7-8 घंटा सोते हैं, and then we get up in the morning, and what I have noticed is, मैंने कुछ नहीं खाया है पिछले 8 घंटों से, और उसके पहले भी 2-3 घंटे. So for about 10-12 hours, nothing has gone in my system. And when I get up in the morning, I typically start, I freshen up, and then I do my spiritual practices. So kriya, ya yoga, ya meditation, and only after that I get to my breakfast. Now, somebody told me that this is not a great idea. You should grab something light before you begin your sadhana or whatever. So the question is, सुबह उठने के बाद कब मुझे पहला कुछ खाना है और क्या खाना है? What's the first thing I should eat in the morning? A large proportion of India begins their day with chai, which I don't think is a great idea. But what should we eat in the morning? And after I wake up, how long should I wait before I eat something? That's my first question.
Okay, so Virat, I would say that if, I don't know, I suppose the majority of people joining us, if they are into doing some practice like the yoga or doing their Sudarshan Kriya meditation, then they should finish all of this and then they are ready to eat. And what should be the first thing that you eat? Typically, something that will give you energy, right? You want to kickstart your day, isn't it? And so the first thing would be that will give us energy, and the quickest source of energy is fruits. Something that I have done for more than 20 years myself, where the breakfast is only fruits. And after having your fruits, wait for about half an hour, because fruits take about half an hour, 45 minutes to get digested. Once digested, see how hungry you are, and then eat whatever you want, whatever is cooked at home. And I think it works really well. I would say give it a shot, see the difference. Give it at least 6 weeks to practice this. Don't decide that in 2 days that it's done and it doesn't work for me. So you can always eat the right and then do the wrong. So go ahead.
So when you say fruits, that's great, but a lot of people have this dry fruits soak करके रख लेते हैं and all of that. So can you give us some tips on, what should be, if I have to begin by eating something even before I start my practice? Maybe, when I used to jog a lot in the mornings, my trainer would tell me, don't come on a very starving stomach. So I would typically soak in some raisins or almonds, and काफी घरों में ये होता है. So can you walk us through that? What should I do in the night so that prep for the morning to eat in the morning?
Okay. So if you had to eat, here I want to clarify, there are two things. There are dry fruits and there are nuts. Yeah, here we use them just as one term. So dry fruits are dates, figs, raisins, apricots, yeah, all of this. And your nuts are your badam, akhroad, pistas, all of those. Yeah, so dry fruits are typically sweet, whereas nuts are neutral in taste. So if you had to soak and eat something, then it would be like a dry fruit, maybe some raisins, some black raisins, if you want some fig, or a date and two, one or two dates, one or two figs, a few raisins is a good thing that you could soak overnight, have it in the morning. It's a concentrated source of energy. If you're looking at nuts, those are also eaten soaked, some of them, especially almonds, and the skin is removed. So yes, that happens in India, and it is said that it's very good for the brain. So, but typically I would eat them with my salad because that's the way they can nourish the body far better and give nourishment to the body in the right manner. So that's what I would advise.
Great, great, great. So, one of the most asked questions is, what is the ideal breakfast to have? So, India may poha and idli, and if you go up north, then nice fat parathas. Or if you go to UP, Bihar, then they'll have puri and chola right in the morning. Uh, uttapams, whatever. So there are so many choices we have. Of course, then there's this whole thing about muesli and oatmeal and cereals. So, what would be a good breakfast to have, given the fact that most of us are in situations where we don't have a full-time cook in the house, and we are not in a place where we can just order and stuff will come. हमें ही करना है वो सब arrangement. So, थोड़ा practical होकर, what would be a good breakfast to have on
So
different days?
definitely anything that's traditional is far better than anything else. Yeah,
Okay.
so if one had to eat a upma or a poha or a dosa or idli or whatever, every
Hmm.
region has their typical food that they have in the breakfast, right?
Hmm.
It's far better than eating all those oats and mueslis and
Hmm.
flakes and all of that. Yeah,
Hmm.
if we live here, we know our tradition. It's everything changes according to seasons here. Very unknowingly things change here. Yeah, it's very much a pattern that okay, अब ये इसका मौसम है तो ये खाएंगे, या ये मौसम है तो ऐसा खाएंगे. So the tradition is very much ingrained with what is happening around us, and if we are doing that, we are in safe hands. So we could have whatever is being cooked, as long as we are making sure. If you can start like this, like I said, fruit and then eat that, so at least you gave the right energy to the body. Also, you need to watch, are you really hungry? Some of us are not, some of us are very very hungry. So listen to your body. Interesting thing, Virat, our body talks to us. It tells us what it wants when it wants. It's just that we don't listen to it. Yeah, we feel hungry, let's say at 12:30, but typically our lunchtime is 1 o'clock. So we will say, okay, 1 baje khate hain. You're a mom would do this. Is her children come home at 2 o'clock from school, let's say, and she felt hungry at 12:30. She will not eat her lunch. She'll say, "अरे बच्चों को घर आने दो, फिर साथ में खाते हैं." By then that hunger has died down, and then you're eating because you have to eat something. Yeah, so we have not listened to what the body said, isn't. Also, have you known, sometimes people have, many people have this, they have, so many of them have told me this, that I have a craving to eat something small, but kuch to meetha chahiye lunch or dinner ke baad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I'm a Marwadi, so I totally understand that.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, once I was traveling, I think I was in Siliguri, and I was staying in someone's house, and I said, I'll have fruits. And after the fruits, I suddenly see a plate of mithai in front of me, like sandesh. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to eat this for breakfast. I'll eat it another time. But people do that. Now, why does that happen? It's the body talking to us. What is it saying? It wants sweet. Yeah. If you see in nature, what is sweet? Tell me.
Bananas and natural honey.
Absolutely. All fruits are sweet by nature,
Mm, mm,
right? Every season you have a different set of fruits. Like now
mm,
is the season coming in for grapes, and
mm,
very soon you will have mangoes, and then something else. So there
mm,
is nature giving us all that we require, but for us, sweet has become something else today.
mm,
You know this, you can try this out. If you eat enough fruit through the day, the sweet fruits through the day, when they are meant to be eaten on an empty stomach, you can have any sweet in front of you, you will not go towards it. because your need for sugar, the natural sugar, is completely satiated. You may eat it, but because, oh, this is Sandesh, or ye maybe Sweet Bengal ka hai, it's the best, or whichever place you are in. I don't know. I am in Bombay, so I would think of Sweet Bengal. But anyone, any shop, or a particular chocolate like XYZ, whatever, maybe a lint. It's only because it's different from the regular chocolate that you get. That is being very specific. It's not sweet. स्वीट खाता है ना तो कुछ भी चलेगा भाई, फ्रिज में क्या है, कबर्ड में है क्या है, ढूंढ के निकालो और दे दो. That is the approach, right? So you need to understand body craves for three basic tastes. It wants something sweet always. Yeah, it will crave for something that is salty. Yeah, typically around 4 o'clock, 4:35. See, we want to eat chaat kind of things. Kuch chatpata chahiye. Yeah, we think of all that. That's the second taste. And the third taste that gets a calling is fried food. And each means something. So sweet is because body needs energy. That craving for chatpat, it is so interesting. Body after 8 p.m. in the night repairs and rebuilds. In order to repair and rebuild, we need minerals. And the taste that body knows of that is salty, chatpat. Yeah, but for us, chatpat means chaat. Chatpat means maybe lay whatever wafers or some namkeen, ya bhujia or whatever that is. That is not what the body is looking for at all. Yeah, when it thinks of fried food, what is it looking for? It's looking for nuts. It needs to do something, it wants to carry out something, so it is craving a particular taste. If these tastes are met through what we are eating, you won't have any craving like this. Then you will still eat a chaat maybe or want to eat something, but that is coming purely out of that real authentic want of taste, not body craving. So we need to be aware, where is it coming from? Is it my memory? We talk on the course, right, at levels of existence, and one of the thing is memory, and that is holding so much, and from there also we could be wanting to do things. So we need to be alert, we need to be more aware.
Right. You were last time you were mentioning something about four immediate foods or something to that. Can you please talk about that?
Yeah, so there are four the real fast foods. We talk of fast foods, but the real fast foods are fruits, vegetables, sprouts, and your nuts and seeds. Yes, this takes anywhere. So fruits take like half an hour to get digested. Fruits half an hour to 45 minutes. If you were to take salads, vegetables, yeah, max to max 1 hour. Yeah, your sprouts, it's about an hour and a half. And nuts are also close to that. So if you were to see between half an hour to maximum 2 hours, you have finished everything to do with digestion. Another interesting fact, Virat, in the body we do so many things, right? We get up, we do our practice in the morning, we have bath, we brush our teeth, we work on our laptops, whatever we do, all of this doesn't take so much of our energy. Do you know what takes maximum energy from us?
What?
Digesting food.
Oh.
Yeah, and we don't stop. Before we have finished digesting one thing, we have added something to our stomach, and the body can't say, oh, I want to take a break now. You and I can say, okay, I'm taking a 2 day off and I'm not going to do anything, but the body can't say that. It has to digest the moment you put it. And different foods have different times that they take for digesting. So when I mean digesting, it's breaking down, then getting absorbed, then getting into the cell, and then inside the cell we have a powerhouse called the mitochondria, where actually the adenophosphate, which is the energy molecule, gets created. From there we get our energy. So
Wow.
first, to break it down itself, it can take hours. It can take anywhere from 2 hours to 100 hours to get digested, just to break down and get that energy. And after 100 hours, the energy will be available to us. So is that a wise investment then?
Mm.
Right? So in that ratio, if you have to see, fruits take half an hour, vegetables take 1 hour, sprouts will take 1.5 hours, nuts closer to that. So now everyone is going to say, oh my God, then I'll keep feeling hungry, isn't it? But
Yeah.
that's not true, because once body's needs are met, it's not just giving a signal for a reason. If you're hungry, it's good. Why do you get hungry? Because the body has finished a job inside. It wants to do the next job. In order to do that job, it needs energy. So it's giving a signal. When we get hungry, many people do this. They drink a cup of tea.
Right.
It kills your hunger completely.
Right.
So you're gone. Yeah, so even if we start our day, I have nothing against tea or coffee. Okay, even
Hmm.
I enjoy it when the weather is great or I'm in a cold place. I do. But my point is, having slept 6 to 8 hours, yeah, how does one get up feeling, oh, I want my cup of tea to kickstart my day? Is
Hmm.
a question we need to ask ourselves.
Hmm.
So then the tea or the coffee is running us instead of we being the queen or the king over it,
Right.
isn't it? So drink your tea, drink your coffee, but ask the question. When we were babies, did we need a cup of tea or coffee?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
Yeah.
So is the same. The system is still the same. It's just that, the amount of energy we need today, we don't have that much. And that's why we look forward to energy. But
Hmm.
energy can come from different sources. Energy comes from food, yes, but it can come from good 8 hours of sleep. Yes, 8 hours of sleep required. It can come from the breath, practicing the pranayam.
Hmm.
Yeah, it can come from meditation. We are all banking only on one source. That's not being fair. Also, energy can come by being with friends. I know the last 2 years have been really tough with everyone,
Hmm.
but yes, being with friends, listening to music, painting, doing something that you passionately like, all of this gives energy. So let's not just look at one source and make it the only source of energy. Let's
Good.
make
Good.
sure we invest in all. It's like systematic investment plan,
Hmm. Right.
isn't it? You need to
Right.
invest.
So, a lot of people are on the move. I travel a lot myself, and a lot of times, you want to eat something. Now, you don't want to eat something unhealthy, but you have lack of choices of healthy food. So, what is that perfect snack? Something maybe I should carry with myself. कि थोड़ा सा अगर भूख लगे, I just want to hold myself for a few hours. What would you recommend as a good snack?
So your nuts are there, all your
Hmm.
badam and akhroot and pistas, salt, not salted, plain
Hmm.
ones. You can
Hmm.
carry all those. They're easy to carry because
Hmm.
they have a good shelf life, right?
Hmm.
Even if your travel is for 15 days, 20 days, you can keep that
Hmm.
with you. You
Hmm.
can keep stuff like the makanas, those can be
Hmm.
eaten. Also, things like apple or bananas or fruits that you can just take and eat are simple to
Hmm.
access, right? You don't have to be like really fussing over a papaya or something where you have to cut and eat. This you
Hmm.
can get and eat them.
Right. What
So
about those
any of
bars,
these,
the energy bars?
yes. So I would put it like this. If you have a fruit, an energy bar, and say something made in sugar, between sugar and the healthy bar, if it's made in jaggery or something like that, pick up the energy bar. But if you have a fruit and an energy bar, pick up the fruit instead of the energy bar. So you
Right.
have to know where the situation is, how are you feeling, and then pick up things accordingly.
Right. Abhi, Shivratri is coming, and a lot of people are going to fast.
Mhm.
So in India, we have this crazy tradition of fasting, and so many different days we keep upvas. And I've grown up in this typical Marwadi setup where I feel that upvas is a joke, because उपवास के दिन they eat a lot, but they eat all the wrong stuff, and they feel that they're doing something great. They feel they're pleasing God or whatever by doing this. So, um, what is the right way to keep an upvas? And first of all, is upvas really for everybody? Like, I'm a very high pitta person, so I don't like it when I have to fast. I'm just hating that experience. So, does everybody have to fast? One, and if at all people have to fast, how should they fast?
Okay, so I'm going to take here two ways of doing this. Yes, one, I have heard Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankar say this, that like Ekadashi, which comes like 4 days prior to your new moon or the Purnima. On those days, you need to fast because the mind and the moon are connected. And fasting does not mean that you don't eat at all. It can be that you can eat every, like maybe you can have 4 meals, and that could be fruits, and it could be things that are allowed in fasting, and eat them well. So there is cucumber that's allowed, or there's red pumpkin that's allowed, or all of that, whatever is allowed. Make a salad, make that meal, and have it. Yeah, that's one way to handle it. Second, yes, fasting. So every prakriti is also different. Like pitta prakriti people, if the pitta shoots up, is uncomfortable, which is maybe what you are as a maybe I don't know your type, but could be that. Yeah. So figure it out that okay, could I eat fruits? Could I put something like this through the day and see what it is? Basically, it is giving rest to your digestive system. All these foods are simpler in digestion. So if the body is rested, then the energy is elsewhere, right? Like it can go to the mind, it can go to do what it needs to do. That's one way to look at it. Second, there is a body's own way to make us fast. If you have seen this, Virat, I'm sure you've known and experienced this, that when you get fever, and any one of us have got fever, we don't have taste in our mouth.
Yeah.
You feel that I don't want to eat anything. Yeah, that's
Mm,
a body's way to make you fast.
mm,
Once it has cleaned itself, you automatically, after 2 days or 3 days or 4 days, when your fever comes down and you're feeling all okay, you suddenly start feeling hungry, and you start dreaming of food, and you want to say, oh, I want to eat this, I want to eat this, I want to eat this. That's a body's way to make you fast as well. So there is something that goes according to tradition, which is saying, yeah, these are the days to fast, because the mind and the moon are connected, and it helps you to keep that equanimity in that time. One, and two, body has its own methodology to make you fast and make you okay also. Because when you fast, when body fasts in its own manner, it's actually feasting, because it's able to rest the digestive system. We remember, no, digestion takes up maximum energy versus anything else. So if there's digestive rest, then body can clean, body can repair, body can do all that it needs to do. So what
right.
we typically do in the night also, we have heard our ancestors, our grandparents say, have an early dinner by sunset. There are, like, Jains have it before sunset, right?
Yeah.
Or most people, many people do follow about 8 o'clock or finishing their dinner. Why is that? So that that full rest to the body is available, it's digested, and then you've gone to sleep. It's not that you have eaten and gone to sleep. They say that you have to keep a gap of at least 2 hours, so that when you have gone to sleep, your system is also resting. Otherwise, we have slept, but the system is working, then there is no rest.
Mm, mm. You said the magical word salad. So, um, in India, the salad was used to be typically the tomato and kheera and pyaz. In the West, salad is a very fancy thing, and they actually do a great job of it. I, for a long time, could not develop a taste for salads. Whenever when I was in the US, I would have these salads, and I couldn't find them tasty. But in the last 3 or 4 years, I've had some really good, tasty salads. So now my perception towards salads has changed a lot. But what would qualify as a salad? Given that I know you also had told me once ki rose lunch ke pehle you have some salad and then you have your main lunch. So what would qualify as salads, and what are easy salads for us to quickly make at home? Lettuce is difficult to procure in most parts, and it's expensive. So kuch desi salads which we can have every day.
Pakka. So you know what? In Deshi salad, we have something called the kachumbar, which is typically made in many, many households. So kachumbar is a great salad, and it's a mix of everything. And here in India, no, there's one secret thing that happens. They give it a tadka also. Yeah? Uspe sanskar ho jate hain, which is very good. It automatically takes care of that balancing part. So having a kachumbar is a great thing to do. But I can tell you one more interesting thing that you can do in India. Of course, let's first talk about all the vegetables that can go in a salad. Everything can go, right from corn, carrots, cucumbers, boiled potatoes, boiled beetroot, or raw beetroot is also fine, up to you. Onions, just anything, cabbage, Everything can be a salad. And how can you make it interesting in India? One more type is to use all the chutneys. Virat, in every household, there are at least 4 or 5 chutneys that are made. एक
Correct.
मूंगफली की चटनी होती है, एक तिल की चटनी होती है, कुछ पत्तों की चटनी होती है, पुदीने की चटनी होती है, धनिए की चटनी होती है. Use any of your chutneys as a dressing, because chutney has 2 3 things in it. One, of course, there's a tang, there's a spice, there's a khatta meetha taste to it sometimes. So all of this is what we enjoy. So
Mm.
that into your salad, if you were just to cut it like chunks and make this like a liquid thing and pour it over so that it coats all your vegetable, you'll enjoy every salad.
Right.
And let's remember that why are we eating a salad? कचूम्बर क्यों खाना है? पेट भरने के लिए नहीं, क्योंकि जो हम खा whatever we are cooking, that cooked food has lost most of its nutrients, more than 50%. What we are meant to get has already got lost. How do you ensure that it comes to you? It's only when you eat something that's raw as a salad, even if it has boiled potato. There are other things which are not cooked in it. That is ensuring that we get 2 main things. One is vitamins, and two is minerals. And these 2 things are needed for our digestion to move smoothly. And that comes when we eat something like a kachumbar or something that is raw. And that's why salad is important. You know, the whole thing somewhere is salad is like, oh my god, पेट भरना है इससे, so it becomes an effort. It's not true. Salad can be very interesting. आप हाथ चाटते रह जाओगे, इतना भी interesting हो सकता है. It's just about how you make it and what do you add to it. That's it.
Can we
Nothing
add things
else.
like chana and
Yeah,
rajma or seeds
absolutely.
that we can
Absolutely.
do? Like
You can add
chana
all
dal,
your
for example.
yes, yes.
Mm.
You can add chana dal. You can if you can get what's called sunflower seeds or
Yeah.
even nuts. You know, we
Yeah.
talked about nuts, right? Peanuts and
Yeah.
walnuts and badam and
Mm.
pistas. All of that you could lightly roast them and add it to the salad. It gives a crunch. We
Right.
like that crunch also very
Yeah.
much. It gives that movement to the jaw, and that's all we enjoy. Yeah,
Mm.
some simple things, but they are very important. And if we do that to the salad, automatically it becomes interesting. So you
Yeah.
don't
That's
have to go over lettuce and avocados and no, not
broccoli.
needed. Not needed.
Mm.
Yeah, there's lots of things here.
Right. Right. Easier. I mean, moms generally freak out when the kids start a diet and say, "Okay, मैंने ये diet plan." The moms get worried कि यार ये अब सब expensive खाना मंगाएंगे, and then the cooks don't know how to make them, and then there is a tragedy.
Yes, true.
So another huge aspect of eating healthy is weight loss. तो अभी मतलब हजार तरह की diets है, the intermittent fasting and the no carbs and low carbs and high fiber. I don't know how many types of diets are there. So basically, can I have tasty food and yet lose weight?
Absolutely.
So how do I do that?
Okay, first and foremost, did the weight gain happen overnight?
No.
Never.
Yeah.
It's over years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are many, many reasons to weight gain. One is what's the age, right? Is it if it's for a female, if she is she moving towards her menopause? Yeah, what is her lifestyle like? What are the stresses like? There are so many factors that decide your weight. It's not just one. You know, as a matter of fact, interesting thing, Virat, there are, because of our type personality types, the way we handle situations, sometimes we draw we sort of build walls around us, not physical walls but walls that we can't see. And that is also a way in which the body expresses itself in form of overweight or maybe underweight. Yeah. So just before you get on to this thing that I want to lose weight and do everything about it, I would think introspect towards not just the body, even the mind. You know, when so I studied nutrition, and after having studied and worked as a nutritionist, where my entry came into art of living. For me it was like that. And when I heard Gurudev say that you are within, it means the body is inside the mind, it was like a wake up call for me, that what am I addressing. Am I addressing just a physical body, or do I need to address my mind as well? That's when I started to look at it, because that was one of my thoughts, that मैं diet तो सब अच्छा कर रही हूँ और लोग भी कर रहे हैं, लेकिन I found myself not just talking about food to people, but also talking about what was going on in their mind. And that's when I found that this was so important. I cannot look at my body separately and my mind separately. It is a unit and it needs to be addressed.
So
so
true.
so as much, meditation, kriya, all of this, all that we learn in the art of living is as important to help lose that weight. It's
So true.
because at one point, whether you want to gain weight or lose weight, what will come in the way is that discipline or wanting to be at it. And there are days when work catches up, maybe you didn't get a good night's sleep, you can't get up and get to hit the gym, your energy is not up to it, and then you label yourself as I'm not good, right? That's where the problem starts.
Mm.
The first thing is, when you look at your own weight, the first thing you will tell yourself is I'm not good.
Yeah.
I still remember when I was studying in for my masters. I was in the university, and we had a program happening, and there was this huge fat girl who was my senior, and she was so we were asked names to participate in a fashion show. And I was like, no, Baba, this is not my cup of tea. But when I saw her participate, I was like, wow, man, this is something. That's where that whole thinking started, that it was nothing to do with weight at all. It
Mm.
was to do with how I see myself, or anybody sees oneself,
Mm.
right? I mean, she was really fat, and to participate, I mean, okay, whatever she wore, but even to think that I can go on stage and I can walk and I can feel comfortable. It's about being comfortable with your own self,
Yeah.
right? So I would think that I would not begin with just a diet. I would look at
Mm.
many aspects and see
Mm.
where else do we need to work on, and tell the
Mm.
person whatever you need to do. So I'm not really a big fan in that space of just saying how weight loss or weight gain. We
Mm.
have come with a body type, and some things have happened to us through life, and something those are reflecting through us, through our body. Our body is talking to us and telling us. It's an expression, no? We say this in meditation, isn't it, Virat? That body, the rules for the body and the mind are different. And that's exactly what's happening. We are not working the body, we are overworking the mind.
Mm. True. We're not working the body and we're overworking the mind. That's so true. So, one more question I have is, India is the land of cows and milk and ghee and dairy and butter. It's so much in our tradition, and it's such an enjoyable experience to have dairy and dairy products, right? And now this whole thing about veganism, and people are turning vegan left, right, and center, and they, point you towards research, which is saying that veganism is good and blah blah blah. So, do I need to turn vegan if I'm in India and if I'm healthy, or what's the point? I mean, should we look at this, or are we okay being vegetarian and we don't have to worry about turning vegan? I don't understand this debate.
Okay, so it's how you see every aspect. This is
Mm.
it's a very debatable thing.
Mm.
Mhm. So first and foremost, why is it only cows? So if you go by what tradition says, why is it a cow's milk is okay and not any other milk? First thing to
Mm.
see. We'll see this part of the debate first,
Mm.
and then another part. So first thing is that, do you know that a cow is the only animal that produces milk a little more than what her calf requires? And
Mm.
so the tradition in the past was that you could take that little portion. Hmm? Also, the cow was in your own backyard, like maybe your grandparents or great grandparents had
Yeah.
that. My grandmother definitely had, and I know
Yeah.
that. So that was in your own backyard. You took care of the cow. You did not, go through all the procedures that are done today to a cow or a buffalo. It was
Yeah.
in time, nature, and that's only when the cow had a calf was there milk. The other times of the year, there The cow was just there in your house, right? So to that, today, the way things are, it's an industry, right? Today, it's a completely different thing. So in that scenario, when you are drinking this, there are other chemicals also that are entering your body, right? Then is it right for those chemicals to enter your body and do the harm? Are you ready for it? Have you been told about it? That's one aspect to look at. Yeah. Second, if we have to look at why do we drink milk? If you say, hey, occasionally I like my little butter and I like my little ghee, that little is little only. Yeah, there is a real small vessel that is, I know in Maharashtrians, at least I know there's this tradition that when the girl gets married, she's given this little thing for the ghee and a little spoon to it, and that spoon is what's used for putting that ghee on your roti. Now that's that little only. Yeah, and also activity was much higher with our parents, our grandparents. Activity was much higher, physical activity, what I mean. Today it's not the case. So are you able to digest all this is a question, right? If you have that physical activity, you like it and you take it for taste and tradition, it's fine. But if
Right.
you're doing this because I want my calcium, then there are questions to be asked there. That really all the calcium that you require for your bones, does it come from here? No. There is a ratio of calcium to phosphorus to presence of protein for calcium absorption to happen. Then and when the bone is stimulated, that means unless you have done something like as simple as a Surya Namaskar or lifted some weight, bone is not stimulated. Till then brain sends no signal for calcium absorption and for a bone to be strengthened. So many aspects are there,
Mm.
and so many belief systems are there.
Mm.
Every individual is free to choose, but you need to know it fully why you're doing something and why you're not doing something. Yeah,
Right.
and that is taking responsibility.
Mm.
We find it easy to put that responsibility
Mm.
onto a bottle, onto a person, and say, okay, this person said, so I am doing this. No, it's your health, it's my health, and it's my choice, and what happens to me is my responsibility. I can't put it on somebody else and say, oh,
Mm.
not. So read
So
up, there's so
basically, I can
much.
be I can be healthy being a vegetarian, and I could be unhealthy being a vegan. All
Yes.
possibilities exist, right?
Yes, yeah. To give you a simplest example, people talk of health and then they talk of baked biscuits and stuff like that. You know, and they would say, oh, this is baked and this is not like not fried, not this, not that. But I would say, thinking that it's baked, you will overeat it.
Mm.
Rather, if you want to eat your cream biscuit, you know it's harmful, you'll still eat one and stop because you know it's bad. I would
Mm.
say rather go for that one than go for this because you're fooling yourself. So are you fooling yourself or is it, what is it? Check it
Mm.
out.
Mm. Another question I had is I'm a vegetarian for many years now, and most of my friend circle is vegetarian, and we have this B12 issue as vegetarians. So somebody told me that there is no natural way to fix it. You'll have to take some supplements or injections, maybe. So how seriously? I've never got myself tested for B12. So do I get testing done? Should I really go in for supplements, or what's this B12 deficiency, and how do we fix that?
Okay, so B12 in the body is made in the body itself. Yeah, in our colon region, it is made by certain microorganisms. Okay, B12 is required max more so for people who eat a lot more is or who are non-vegetarians. You are a vegetarian. You are not needing that much B12 for its digestion, right? So why worry about it? You are, the body is making it. Unless you are on a dramatic diet which is like refined, processed, packed food, going wrong with your sleep, not doing anything for your body, no exercise, then you could land up in some kind of deficiency where this may be one of them. But if you're taking care to eat right, stay well, yeah, taking care of all this, taking care of your body, you're not going to rightly fall into this bracket of having a lot of deficiency like that.
Okay.
So not to worry. And
Okay.
unless you have some symptoms coming up, why would you want to test yourself and poke yourself?
Okay.
Don't get into it.
In
Your
the
body
COVID,
talks to you. Remember that.
yeah. Hmm. In the COVID time, a lot of us became very particular, and we were forced to rather, become particular about our diet. And I think COVID is hopefully on its way out. But what food habits should we retain now that we have anyway started, being aware? And would you recommend some food habits that we should retain to keep the immunity up, or anything of that sort?
Yes. One of the things that happened with COVID was we were home. So
Mm.
we ate on time, hopefully.
Yeah.
If that's an habit that you formed, please keep
Mm.
it. Because
Mm.
body then knows that at a fixed time, I'm going to get my lunch, I'm going to get the dinner, I'm going to get the nourishment in, and it's able to work. Yeah, it plans accordingly. Very interesting, if you don't eat on time, the signal that the body gets is that पता नहीं कि next meal कब आएगा, मुझे energy nourishment मिलेगा कि नहीं, तो let me work on myself. That can also become a reason for its weight gain.
Right.
So if one habit, if you have formed in this COVID time, if eating on time has been the case, or exercise has been a part of your routine, hold
Mm.
on to it. It would be
Mm.
great to
Mm.
continue.
So, Vaishali, we have 3 more minutes to go. Any overall tips about being healthy, and eating tasty, or whatever you want to share now? Um, as
Um, okay, so I would say don't bank just on food to do everything.
Mm.
Keep a balance of things. Make sure that as much, food is only 10% actually of the whole game. But in absence of all the other things, it becomes the most important thing, because come what may, we eat. So make a healthier choice. There is no dearth. You can always make a healthy choice. One, invest in good sleep. It's very important. That sleep between 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. is the sleep where everything is happening, where the organs are detoxifying, the organs are repairing, healing, and that's an overhauling time for the body. Get into a good sleep pattern. Yeah, invest in breathing. Don't let it go. If you're one of those people who have learned the Sudarshan Kriya, make sure you practice it. Yes, it is something that's amazing. Yeah, I had COVID, and when I was recovering, I was seeing every single day when I could start my practice again, as to how the practice was happening and how the change happened. So I always knew about the breath and the beauty, but I saw it even in this phase, and I would think don't stop for anything. Yeah, and meditate. It's very very important. If we have to let go things, if we are looking at healing the body, meditation is the most beautiful thing. So if you haven't done this, get on to one of the programs. If you have done it, continue your practice. Yeah, and listen to your body. It talks to you absolutely, every bit of it, whether it wants to sleep, whether it wants to eat, um, what it's looking for, everything. So I think that's what I would say to everyone.
Thank you so much, Vaishali. Is there? I don't know. Are you active on social media? Do you keep sharing these tips? Not really.
No, no, no. I'm not. I'm very good with that.
Okay. No worries. So we'll hopefully, for all those who are watching it now live, or even if you pick it up later on my YouTube channel, you can leave your questions in comments. And maybe what we'll do is we'll invite Vaishali again for a session after a few months. But, really thank you so much, Vaishali, for these tips. I have personally benefited from my conversations with you in the past. And I'm sure everybody who watched this will benefit. So yeah, stay healthy, but eat good food, and listen to your body. I think that was a good one. Listen to your body. Thank you so much for joining us today for this session. Thank you, Vishali, for spending your time with us. Yeah. Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Good night.